Welcome to Home for the Holidays with the St. Louis Ark. I'm Mark Keeley, the Ark's president and CEO, and I'm pleased to be joined by Alex Ott, my coworker and one of our Essential Star employees.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you for joining us as we celebrate this season in this era of social distancing. 2020 has been a challenging year for all of us, but it's also been a year that has seen the community come together to help those in need. We have certainly felt the outpouring of support at the St. Louis Ark, and we are most grateful for your support. Since we weren't able to get together in person this year, we wanted to take this opportunity to share some of holiday cheer as St. Louis Ark style through the wonders of technology. Whether you are an Ark participant, family, volunteer, board member, donor, or staff member, we are glad you've taken the time to join us. Before we start, though, we want to thank Brianna and the music therapy crew for kicking off the show for us. Music therapy is one of our most popular programs, so we couldn't allow the COVID pandemic to stop the music. Like we've done with many of our programs, we've adapted our music classes to a virtual format to keep people active and engaged from home. One of the things we have to celebrate this year is the 70th anniversary of the St. Louis Ark. We were founded back in 1950 by a small group of families during a time when there were very few services or opportunities for people with developmental disabilities. These families were the early pioneers who fought for equal rights and inclusion in their communities. Fast forward 70 years, and the St. Louis Ark is still very much focused on families today, even though now we serve more than 4,500 people each year. Families are at the heart of what we do, and we are very pleased that one of our families has offered to share their story with us. Alex and I would like to introduce you to the Mosby family.
So I'm Garen, my wife Leanne, and and she went ahead and did it herself. This is our beautiful daughter Blair. Yeah, right on cue. Hi.
So once we decided that we wanted to be parents, I did everything. I read all the books, all of the blogs, I did all of the studying. I wanted to do it right. Our hopes and dreams for our daughter was to have a child that would be as ambitious as we are, and that we would be able to provide and give her absolutely everything she needed. Blair has been diagnosed with an extremely rare genetic disorder called GLUT1 deficiency. When we got the diagnosis, we were told that it's not curable. So that in itself is the first blow, because you get a diagnosis for your kid and then you immediately start thinking about a cure. She's 1 in 500, as there have only been 500 documented cases of GLUT1 in the world since 1991. So very, very rare individual.
We really didn't know what our first step should be. And so having organizations like First Steps and now the Ark, because when First Steps timed out, when she became 3, we were terrified because we didn't know what the next steps after our first steps would be.
We were in so much change at once. We had gotten a diagnosis, and then we have this kid now that your kid has special needs. By the way, she needs all of these therapy services. She also needs a speedo vest. She also needs orthotics. Now, we're going to give you this walker, and she should wear a helmet. And then we find this amazing school, but now the school is going to close. Now she's aging out of First Steps. So now you need to find a new school. You need to find another agency. And then we need to get you some new therapy providers. It's how do you do it? Our First Steps family, because that's essentially what they became, transitioned us to St. Louis Ark. I knew nothing about St. Louis Ark. I knew nothing about First Steps. I can fill a stadium 3 times with what I did not know about parenting in a world of special needs prior to a 1.5 years ago. After reading that pamphlet, I knew we had to get in. And then it's like, well, how do we get in? And Michelle said, I'll take care of it. And she did. And Michelle introduced us to Jennifer Yaffe. Jennifer then introduced us to Capable Kids and Family, and now we are part of the Ark's family for the rest of our lives, and our lives and Blair's life has been enriched because of it, and I could not imagine going on this journey without that team.
When you talk about an extension to your family or an addition, I think is more appropriate to your family. That's what Michelle has become. That's what Jennifer has become. That's what the St. Louis Ark has helped to provide our family, a bigger family, bigger pit crew.
A bigger picture.
You're introduced to these resources that you probably would have no idea existed, and you get to network with other parents that are going through similar challenges as you are. It's a shadow, like you look left, you look right, and right when you think you're alone, there the Ark is, and it's like, hey, we've got something else for you. So we bond as parents and get our kids together. So it's really helpful, and it's just almost like a domino effect or a chain reaction, and we're able to help others out as well.
Adage about it takes a village. It absolutely takes a village to raise a child. It takes a very special village to raise a child with special needs. And the St. Louis Ark is the building for all of those individuals on Blair's team to reside. They are housing us and her abilities, and the sky is the limit because of all of the resources and the tools that they provide to Blair and also us as a parent. They have made us a stronger family.
Every time you start a new program, they want to know what your child is doing or what do you hope that they're going to accomplish. Automatically, we wanted her to be able to walk and to be able to talk, like basic communication and mobility goals. Now she walks. And this comes just months ago when we were told that we don't know if your daughter will ever walk without some sort of equipment. And now she's freely moving about. As you can see, she is very vocal. She's obviously wanting something, if not our attention, and she's able to express herself a lot better than what she was prior to. So she's meeting the goals in as far as what she's going to be able to accomplish long term. I think the sky's the limit.
Who knows what her future looks like? But I know that as long as we have the St. Louis Ark, her future is bright and her star will soar. Isn't that right, Blair? Can you say yes?
What an inspiring story. We thank the Mosbys for taking time out of their busy schedule to share their journey with us. It wasn't mentioned in the video, but some of you may have recognized Garen Mosby. He is a St. Louis City fire captain and a star of live rescue on the A&E network, so none of Blair's heroic achievements will ever surprise us. We thank our first responders and all of our healthcare workers who've been so critical during this pandemic. In case you're wondering, Alex and I are getting into the holiday spirit by baking cookies for our friends back at the Ark.
Yeah, let's just hope we don't get a visit from Garen and the fire department.
You're right, Alex, I hope not. You know, seeing Blair's story, it reminds me that you started with the Ark around her age, didn't you?
That's right, Mark. I started receiving services from the Ark through the Bell Center when I was about a week or so old. I was having a very difficult time eating, and the doctor said that I may need to go on a feeding tube. Wow. Luckily, the Bell Center came to my rescue and taught my family ways to feed me without receiving medical intervention. So from there, I went on through the Bell Center's program and received OT, PT, and developmental therapy till I was in kindergarten.
Wow, you've really done really well. You've obviously thrived. Wasn't there a story about a doctor saying something about your height?
Yes, the pediatrician actually told my mom that I would be very short, and I think I'm actually taller than you.
You are taller than me. I'd like to know how tall that doctor was that thought you were going to be short. So you're from St. Louis. I have to ask you, where did you go to high school?
I went to Kirkwood High School.
What did you do in high school?
Well, I was on the Kirkwood High School swim team. I was put in pools at a very young age for my therapy. I even competed on the Kirkwood Riptides when I was growing up, and then later I competed on the Kirkwood High School swim team. And you know, it's not like my times were exactly the best, but I had a blast competing, and it felt great to be included. it really gave me the confidence and made me realize that I can do just about anything if I put the effort into it. Sometimes it just may take more time, and I may need a little extra help to get me there.
That's really awesome. So when you were in high school, what were you thinking about? What did you want to do after you graduated?
I knew somewhat what I wanted to do. I was going to enter into an employment transition program, and I also was able to take some classes at Merrimack Community College. So I took some communications classes, keyboarding classes, along with a sociology class, and a handful of other classes. But I really loved the communications classes the best because that has helped me so much where I am today.
That's really cool. So when you finished high school, you wanted to find a job, is that right?
Yes.
And so what did you do to find a job?
Well, like I said, I was fortunate enough to be able to try out a number of different jobs through the employment transition program. So I worked at Jefferson Barracks, assisting the veterans with their aquatic therapy. I worked in St. Mary's Hospital and patient transport. And then later I was offered a chance to try working the reception desk out at the ARC, and was hired on part-time, and I've been full-time now for about 3 years.
I can't believe it's been 3 years already. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I know that you were offered, like other jobs, you turned down a job at a law firm, a decision I still question, but I'm grateful that you did. So what do you do at the ARC? What does your job entail?
Well, pre-COVID, anybody that would come into the building would have to sign in at the front desk. Then I would direct them to a meeting or a interview or a program that they were attending that day. So I sort through all of the mail that we receive. I log checks onto a spreadsheet. I do some scanning for the accounting department, and I also help our family support department out with a mailing. And most recently, I've joined a diversity and inclusion committee, and there's still a whole lot more to learn there. Mm-hmm. And I also have done some public speaking on behalf of ARC to help promote the power of inclusion.
You do so much work for us, and you're such a tremendous asset to the agency. I'm so grateful to you. So what's your favorite part about working at the ARC?
Actually, Mark, my favorite part of my job is when you bake treats and bring them in for us to eat.
That's great. Well, cooking is a really favorite activity for a lot of us at the ARC. In fact, our virtual cooking class is celebrating the holidays with a cookie extravaganza right now. Let's check in with them.
I'm going to start on the chocolate chips in just 30 seconds, but before I do that, I want to say hi, Mark and Alex. Thanks for joining. I hope you have been following along tonight and your cookies turned out as good as ours. The class wants to wish everyone a happy holiday. It's the holiday. We all wait during the holiday.
Dave, thank you so much for taking the time. Well, now we can't wait to try these cookies. How about we head back to the living room, Alex?
Sounds like a great idea. The cookies turned out great, didn't they?
They look delicious. Welcome back. Having worked at the ARC for 30 years, it's been my privilege to watch people like Blair and Alex go from taking their first step to getting their first job. When people receive support and encouragement, there's no limit to what they can achieve. As I said earlier, the ARC has been blessed to have a community that has rallied to support us during this challenging time. I know that many of you have already made a donation during the holidays, and for that I thank you. For those of you who would like to make a gift today, you can visit our website at the address below. With your support, we can provide therapeutic equipment to help a child walk. We can provide sports and recreation programs that keep people healthy and engaged. We can provide arts programs that allow people to express themselves and to make friends. We can provide support to keep our older residents safe and active. And above all, we can ensure that people with disabilities have the opportunity to be fully included in the community. Whatever you can give, know that you will be making a real difference in people's lives. Thank you. Alex, before we sign off, let's pay a final visit to the Mosby home. Just as the ARC has made big strides over the past 70 years, Blair has made big strides since we shot the video. Let's check in with her.
Oh, you want me to help? Okay, let's do it together. You hold one side, I'll hold the other side. All right, ready? Go.
Ready.
Ah,
Good job.
Good job. That is the longest high five ever. Good girl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
holidays.
Thank you.
Good girl.
Got away?
What a great family. We thank them and we thank all of you for joining us and wish you and your family happy holidays and a healthy new year.
Thank you for your support. Happy holidays.